What you are looking at is the Church of St. Savior on Mount Zion in Jerusalem. It is carefully guarded and always closed. But what is inside has captured the imagination of believers for 2,000 years. In this church is a large stone. Where did this stone come from? Why is it the centerpiece of this chapel? And why has it been hidden for centuries? All four of our independent gospel writers mention a stone that sealed the tomb of Jesus, and that it was very large. All of them testify that the stone was miraculously rolled away on the morning that Jesus was resurrected. At the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, inside the Chapel of the Angel, visitors can view a small square tile that many people believe is part of that rolling stone. But the original rolling stone that covered the tomb must have been much larger than this, and one early pilgrim spoke of it as being as large as a millstone. Could it be that we are looking at that rolling stone at this very moment? To answer that question, let's go back in time. Outside the Gospels, the next mention of the stone was in 370 AD, when a man named Cyril of Jerusalem claims to have seen it lying next to the tomb of Jesus. A few years later, St. Jerome recalled that his servant Paula kissed the stone. Then in 570 AD, a man known as the Piacenza Pilgrim wrote about the rolling stone, which he said was in front of the tomb, as if it were lying on the ground. But about a century later, something changed. In 680 AD, a French monk named Arculf came to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and he noticed that there were now two stones, a small square tile in the Chapel of the Angel as you see it today, and a much larger stone that was part of an altar about 10 meters away, an altar that is no longer in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. According to the Armenian Apostolic Church, to either protect the stone from Muslim invaders who didn't believe in the resurrection of Jesus, or from pilgrims wanting to chip off pieces as souvenirs, Armenian priests transported it to Mount Zion for safekeeping, to the Church of St. Savior. And that is why in the year 1280 AD, the German Catholic priest Bouchard records that he personally saw the stone in this church where we are now standing. So right now, let's examine the stone. As you can see, it is largely rectangular in shape, but then the door of Jesus' tomb was also rectangular. Unlike the round rolling stone illustrations that are popularly depicted today, there really wasn't any need for a round stone, especially when you notice that the edges of this stone are round. That means that this very stone was designed to be rolled into its position, and the Bible does say that the stone that covered Jesus' tomb was rolled. So this stone appears to be the exact size and shape needed to seal the door of Jesus' tomb. Now this tomb was carved into the flat wall of an abandoned quarry. Take a look at the top surface of the stone, and you will see that it is hewn completely flat, allowing it to lie flush against the outer wall of the door of Jesus' tomb. The bottom of the stone is rough in texture because this was the side that faced outward, and no carving on this side was necessary. All of the evidence, both historic and forensic, strongly suggests that this is the actual rolling stone that covered the tomb of Jesus. While the cross has traditionally been Christianity's most famous symbol, salvation was not just provided for us by the single act of Jesus' death, but also by his resurrection. Under Roman occupation, many people died on crosses, but only one of them came back to life. For this reason, the early Christians believed that the empty tomb was the truest symbol of God's plan for salvation. And the stone that you're looking at is an enduring reminder of that moment when Jesus claimed victory over the grave.